Hello, today's video is going to be slightly different. I just finished this amazing book by Brandon Sanderson, Oathbringer. It is the third book in the Stormlight Archive. Finished it this morning. It was a big book, 1,300 pages, and now we get to pick my next book for my TBR, which is this. This is my to-be-read list in physical form. There are more books, of course, that I don't own. These are the ones that I own and haven't read or haven't finished. So we're going to go through each of them, and we're going to discuss what they're about. We're going to read the back and decide what to read next. Oh my god. Okay. How many books is this? Whoa, okay, that almost fell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 books. Great number to start with. We're going to start off pretty easy, right off the top. Do I get back into Game of Thrones? Do I try to finish the first book in the Song of Ice and Fire series? This, if you don't know what it is very high fantasy, very gritty, very brutal, very interesting politics, a lot of combat and action. In a land where summers can last decades and winters a lifetime, trouble is brewing, the cold is returning. I'm gonna stop there. I'm not gonna read this right now. This is heavy and dark and intense. It is winter right now. It's too dark and too cold for me to read this. I don't want to read a dark and cold book that's overly dark and cold while I'm also in a place that is dark and cold. So we're gonna put this to the side. That is our first no. Next we have a wonderful book that I actually got maybe 100 pages into. It is Babel by R.F. Kuang. This book is about a boy named Robin who is attending Babel, which is a center for translation at Oxford. And translation is also part of the magic system of the world, which relies on silver. It's fascinating. There's an amazing political element to this. This is a very good candidate for my next read, at least finishing it. I'm already sort of into it. I just took a break because I wanted to read more high fantasy. This is more like low to the ground. It is closer to our real world. So I've realized high fantasy is my genre. This is not as much, but it's a very well-written book, very interesting, so I do want to finish it. So we're going to start like a maybe pile over here. Next is another very strong candidate, The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. This one, I love this because it's a small book. I love books you can put in your pocket. This one I actually picked up secondhand, which is even better, in my opinion. My name is Kvothe. I have stolen princesses back from sleeping barrow kings. I burned down the town of Traben. I've spent the night with Felurian and left with both my sanity and my life. These are a lot of words I don't know, but they're very interesting so far. I was expelled from the university at a younger age than most people are allowed in. I tread paths by moonlight that others fear to speak of during the day. I have talked to gods, loved women, and written songs that would make the minstrels weep. You may have heard of me. That is a great tagline. Yeah, that's gonna go in the maybe pile, maybe on the yes end. This is always fun because I really don't know what's going to happen in these books. I don't know what's going on. I don't really know the magic system. I don't know the world. This I know is a bit more high fantasy, so it's a bit more up my alley. And yeah, I'm kind of biased towards this. But I started Babel already, so I'm like, should I finish Babel first? And we'll find out. Next, by Werner Vinge. Werner Vinge. It's a crazy name. This is A Fire Upon the Deep. This is a beautiful old edition of this book. I love that it's the copy I have. This art is super cool. Fleeing a menace of galactic proportions, a spaceship crashes on an unfamiliar world, leaving the survivors, a pair of children, to the not-so-tender mercies of a medieval lupine race. It sounds traumatic. I think most of these are going to have some traumatic elements, of course, but this is not the zone that I want to be in. I think sci-fi is kind of not where I want to be right now. I think fantasy is more my speed. This will be read at some point. I've heard amazing things about it. It's apparently like critical sci-fi to read, but we're just going to put this to the side for now. Actually, we're going to do that to a few books here right away. Red Mars is also going to go to the side. This is apparently an amazing book by Kim Stanley Robinson, part of a trilogy of books about Mars and terraforming. I'm just not feeling sci-fi. I think I loved the fantasy world of this so much I want to do more fantasy. So Red Mars, eventually we'll get back to it. I think there's two more that we need to just move. This is quick, this is easy. We'll go through what they are because I will read these. You'll hear me talk about them soon. First is Children of Time by Adrian Tchaikovsky. This is apparently extraordinary. The last remnants of the human race left the dying Earth, desperate to find a new home, following their ancestors' star maps. They discover the greatest treasure of the past age, a world terraformed and prepared for human life. But all is not right in this new Eden. The planet is not waiting for them, pristine and unoccupied. New masters have turned it from a refuge into mankind's worst nightmare. That sounds awesome. That sounds so epic, and oh, there's a bookmark from Book Club, my favorite little bookstore in the Lower East Side. Yeah, that's okay. We're gonna start a new pile, which is like next up. As soon as I want to read a sci-fi book, that is going right away. The other one that is getting put to the side for now by James S.A. Corey is Leviathan Wakes, part of the Expanse series. Humanity has colonized the solar system, Mars, the moon, the asteroid belt, and beyond, but the stars are still out of our reach. Jim Holden is XO. Is that commanding officer? of an ice miner making runs from the rings of Saturn to the mining stations of the belt. So I'm not going to read all of this because I kind of know what it's about. I've seen part of the show on Amazon Prime. Very, very good show. Apparently the books are even better. It is like Game of Thrones in space, but a little bit less brutal, and I'm very interested in that. So we're going to get into it. We're going to do it eventually. How long is this? It's only 500 pages. This is deceptively large. Yeah. That'll go in the no pile for now. I think I want to do Children of Time first, but this will get read. Next up is another one that I've actually delved into literally just the first chapter, and it was too dark for me. It is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. Under the influence of their charismatic classics professor, a group of clever, eccentric misfits at an elite New England college discover a way of thinking and living that is a world away from the humdrum existence of their contemporaries. Crazy sentence right away. But when they go beyond the boundaries of normal morality, they slip gradually from obsession to corruption and betrayal, and at last, inexorably, into evil. I don't want to read anything that is super evil right now. I don't know if I want to read something where the characters become evil right now. That is one thing keeping me from the Poppy War books. Apparently the character, like the main character, is very morally gray and questionable, and that just sounds stressful. I get the appeal, I get that it's important to discuss morality in literature. This book does a wonderful job of that, but I generally like it when people are doing the best they can. I like it when the characters, even if they're flawed, even if they have a very difficult background, even if they have a very different perception of the world, I love it when people do their best to be good people. Maybe I'm biased, maybe I'm naive for that, but this doesn't sound like fun to me right now, so that's a no. Oddly enough, the next one, even though I'm interested in reading it, is also apparently very dark. Shadow and Claw by Gene Wolfe. It is the first half of the Book of the New Sun. So the Book of the New Sun is multiple books. I think this is the first two, technically. The Shadow of the Torturer and the Claw of the Conciliator. Severian, an apprentice to the Guild of Torturers on the world called Earth. Guild of Torturers is like a dark sign right away. Exiled for committing the ultimate sin of his profession, showing mercy toward his victim. That's what I like. That is what I want to see. I don't mind if things are dark. I like people who are kind. I like people who try to do good things. I think that's kind of universal, I guess. He then undertakes a mythic quest to discover the awesome power of an ancient relic and learn the truth about his hidden destiny. That sounds cool. That sounds exceedingly cool. I like the setup of him being from a torturer's guild and being exiled for mercy. That is crazy. That's going in the next pile. These are the heavy hitters. These are some big books right here. We've got this one and then 3 more, and then we'll make some decisions about what's up. Gardens of the Moon by Steven Erikson, A Tale of the Malazan Book of the Fallen. This is part of a series. The Malazan Empire simmers with discontent, bled dry by interminable warfare, bitter infighting, and bloody confrontations with ancient and implacable sorcerers. I love an ancient sorcerer. I'm a sucker for a sorcerer, that's cool. Even the Imperial legions, long injured to the bloodshed, yearn for some respite, yet Empress Lysine's rule remains absolute, enforced by her dreaded claw assassins. Crazy first paragraph of an intro. Not even an intro, a summary. For Sergeant Whiskeyjack and his squad of bridge burners, and for Tattersail, their lone surviving mage, great name. The aftermath of the siege of Pale should have been a time to mourn the many dead. But Darujistan, last of the free cities, yet holds out. It is to this ancient citadel that Lysine turns her predatory gaze. However, the Empire is not alone in this great game. Sinister, shadow-bound forces are gathering as the gods themselves prepare to play their hand. Whoa. The scope of that is crazy. I like the font, too. This is my process, right? I get the vibe. Very easy to tell the vibe in general. Like, if there's a summary, if there are reviews, you can sort of see what things are going to be like. Read through the summary. Decide what I want to read right now. If I'm in a place where I'm thinking about morality, maybe I'll read something like The Secret History, where things are a bit darker and the characters do bad things, because I'm already thinking about human morality, and to see that is insightful and interesting in a philosophical sense. If I'm just neutral, probably don't want to do that because it's not kind of the state of mind I'm in. I don't want to put myself there. If I'm feeling fantasy, if I'm feeling sci-fi, it's very easy to figure that out. If I don't know exactly what I want to do from there, I like to read a sample. Oh, there's a character list at the very beginning. There's 3 pages of character names. 3 pages of character names. The stains of rust seem to map blood seas on the black, pocked surface of Mock's vein. That's hard. What's the first line of the first chapter, properly? I don't want the poem. There's poems all over. Prod and pull, the old woman was saying. 'Tis the way of the Empress as like the gods themselves. Hard. That goes hard. This looks big and heavy. They all look big and heavy. This looks particularly large in scope and probably difficult to get into and perceive in my head. This is also big. Not super difficult to perceive and get into ultimately, but there are more books in this. They're releasing the 5th this year. I have to read the 4th, and there's more books that relate to the universe. So I'm gonna try to get through more of the Cosmere before I commit to a whole new world of things. Because this, I know is currently 2 books. Everyone's waiting for the third. So I know that if I get into this, I can read one more book and then just wait with everyone else for the third book while I read other things. This, I believe, is a standalone right now. I don't really want to get myself into an interminable, pulling that word from the back of the book, interminable commitment to a number of books that I don't even know how many there are, that are really big and really deep in big world building. It is only 500 pages. Could knock that out in a few days. Hypothetically, could do that in a day, but we're gonna give that some space because I want the mental space to enjoy it properly. Okay, we're gonna jump ahead. We're putting one over back here. The Wheel of Time. The Eye of the World is book 1 of The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan. Beautiful, beautiful series, apparently. Brandon Sanderson, who I enjoy immensely, finished it after Robert Jordan died using his notes. This looks super cool. This is like, I think, 20-something books. Decent shot. I actually start reading this book at some point just to start getting into it and see what's up. I think that the entire series is going to take me quite a long time. I think it'll take me a number of years to get through the entire thing. Yeah, wait. Beautiful full color map right away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It's 15 books, I think. That's how many they're showing on the inside. That did not sound good. That's how many they're showing on the inside cover. Awesome. Love that. Not going to jump into that right now. This is a trilogy. The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. Part of, what is the name of the series? The First Law Trilogy. What is the intro? Logan Ninefingers, infamous barbarian, has finally run out of luck. Caught in one feud too many, he's on the verge of becoming a dead barbarian, leaving nothing behind him but bad songs, dead friends, and a lot of happy enemies. Nobleman, dashing officer, and paragon of selfishness, wow. Captain Giselle Dan Luthar, amazing naming, has nothing more dangerous in mind than fleecing his friends at cards and dreaming of glory in the fencing circle. But war is brewing, and on the battlefields of the frozen north, they fight by altogether bloodier rules. I'm gonna stop this right there. That sounds amazing. That sounds absolutely incredible. The reviews look amazing from the inside of the book. Of course they do, because I think they cherry pick, but yeah, this looks really good. And I like the texture. That's also important. This is like a matte texture. It has like grain to it. What's the font like? Font's pretty. Font's alright. How long are we talking? 500 pages. Everything's 500 pages these days. Yeah, this looks cool. Okay, maybe. Last one. This is the last one to take a first look at. Then we'll go through our maybe stack and see what's up. The Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne. Another author I've heard amazing things about. Another series I've heard amazing things about. I think there are 3 of these. When the gods fought, it was a battle so savage they destroyed themselves, leaving nothing but their bones and the broken land of Vigrid in their wake. Crazy, crazy opening. Now as whispers of war echo over the fjords and across the plains, fate follows in the footsteps of 3 warriors, a huntress on a perilous quest, a noblewoman pursuing battle fame, and a thrall seeking retribution among the mercenaries known as the Bloodsworn. All 3 will change the course of the world as it once more falls under the shadow of the gods. So I guess the gods are coming back. That looks crazy. Can we focus on that? That looks insane. I assume that's a god or a dragon or something. This I will read. That sounds awesome. Something about it doesn't have as much intrigue as this to me. Let's review everything we have here. Also, I don't have a copy of it right now. It's somewhere. I don't know where it is. Children of Dune. I read like the first 200 pages. It's weird. Dune after book 1 gets crazy and very philosophical. That's not going anywhere. I'll read that eventually. I will finish the first 6 Dune books eventually. Not anytime soon. Okay. Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin. No. A Fire Upon the Deep by Werner Vinge. Not right now. Red Mars by Kim Stanley Robinson. Not right now. Leviathan Wakes, James S.A. Corey, not now. And The Secret History by Donna Tartt, at some point probably. Next, the next pile. Children of Time by Adrian Tchaikovsky. This will be read soon. I think that I'll probably want to read a sci-fi book in the next few books I read, so that's going to be good. Shadow and Claw, Gene Wolfe. That's going to be read soon. I've heard that's a very crazy and hard to understand series, so maybe when I want a puzzle, when I want a challenge, I'll read that. Gardens of the Moon, Malazan Book of the Fallen. I'll put that with Shadow and Claw, another big undertaking it seems. Same with The Wheel of Time. But I guess I could read that first book whenever and then go back and read the rest of the entire series. Shadow of the Gods, John Gwynne. That's going to go with Children of Time and like the nearer, soon, future reads. We're down to the last 3. I kind of know exactly what I'm going to do already. The first part of this is that I'm going to finish Babel first. It's only 500 pages. I'm just going to knock this out in the next couple days probably. Very, very good writing. Even though it's not exactly my genre, it's fascinating and so well written. The question is, from there, The Name of the Wind or The Blade Itself? I think, from a practicality standpoint, the 3rd book of this is not coming out anytime soon. I'm in no rush to read through this. This I can have the trilogy done in the next month or so. That excites me. I think I'll read this immediately upon finishing Babel, and I will get into this trilogy. Maybe I'll knock out the whole trilogy in one go. Maybe I'll finish it, switch to this, switch to Children of Time, which is also a series. But this excited me. Something about that intro, Logan Nine Fingers, crazy naming. Something about this just sounds fun. There's humor in the way that the intro is written. The conclusion of this very casual, very different video, which I'm excited to make. Babel first, get that done. The Blade itself, and then eventually, after that, The Name of the Wind. And then Stormlight 4, and then Stormlight 5, and then all of the everything, all the secret projects. I've got so much reading to do, that's fabulous. I'm so excited to get through all of this. Let's do a stack. Let's do a stack of like, just the stuff I'm really excited about reading right now. This is the stack. That's so many pages. I love it. I love it so much. And this was 1,300 pages, and I just got done, and I'm like, yeah, I need to get right back into massive books. I'm gonna go sit down with this and get started. Thank you for joining me in this deliberation. It was very fun to read through all of these and sort of pick what's gonna happen next. So thank you for being here, happy reading, and have a wonderful day.